Hello, my name is Piotr Rajski, and I'm a retired psychologist who has been fascinated with the teachings of Haidakhan Babaji for over 40 years, and that is why I would like to share them with you. This afternoon, I would like to share with you the elements of the teachings of Haidakhan Babaji that are most closely associated with the vision and the purpose of the Parliament of the World Religions. For this purpose, I identified a set of values that I found inside the official documents of the Parliament. At the bottom of many of the slides, you will find a reference to these values. Due to the constraint of time, I won't be discussing them every time. So, who was Haidakhan Babaji? He taught publicly between 1970 and 1984 in India, near the village of Haidakhan in the state of Uttarakhand in India. Because we have no knowledge about his parents or the schools he attended, the locals believed that he manifested himself there's a cave near the Haidakhan ashram that is considered sacred for centuries, and reportedly this is where the Babaji was spotted for the first time. In 1970, he spent 45 days in meditation in this little temple on top of the local Mount Kailash, reportedly without leaving his seat, thus demonstrating, tremendous control over and power over his own body. Hundreds of people joined him there and impressed or curious about, his spiritual powers. And this was more or less the time when he started being worshipped as a manifestation of Shiva. Gradually, he attracted more followers from India and from around the world. Perhaps it will be interesting for you to hear what Babaji was saying about himself. He often referred to himself as messenger of revolution. He said, I have to awaken the world from its sleep. This revolution takes place for the sake of world peace. This is my sole aim and my main task. When righteousness prevails in the world, this is the only path possible. On another occasion, Babaji said, I am Bole Baba, simple father. I am nobody and nothing. I am only like a mirror in which you can see yourself. I am like a fire. Don't get too far, or you will not get any warmth. But don't get too near, or you may burn yourself. Learn the right distance. My name is Mahaprabhuji, which is most often translated as meaning the great God. Reportedly, a few times Babaji hinted that he is the same being to whom Paramahansa Yogananda referred in his book Autobiography of a Yogi as Mahavatar Babaji. Mahavatar, or Great Avatar, is a manifestation of God not born from a woman. Perhaps annoyed by questions about what kind of guru he was, Babaji said, I am no one's guru, but I am the guru of gurus. Babaji also considered himself to be a humble servant of humanity. He said, I say all of this in the service of humanity. To work, think good, and dedicate your life to humanity is the best. The only necessity of this yoga is karma yoga through service. Everybody must spread this message. It is my desire that there be harmony in the universe. My plan is one of love, one where the lion and the goat can drink from the same well. Though many of his believers, many of his followers believe that he was immortal, Babaji left his body on 14th February 1984, only 14 years into his ministry, reportedly because of a heart failure. The fact that he left through his heart on Valentine's Day is often interpreted by the Westerners as a sign of his love for the whole humankind. Babaji foretold his death and explained it in the following way. My body is meant to dry up one day. This body is nothing. It is here only to serve people. Even my own body has come only to perform a duty, to serve all human and all living things. Sri Babaji delivered teachings on many subjects. I identified 15 themes that were present in his speeches most often and that seem most relevant in the context of the parliament and, championing for human rights and religious freedoms. I will say a few words about each of them. First Babaji taught about all religions coming from the same primordial religion known as Sanatana Dharma. He describes Sanatana Dharma as the universal law, without beginning and without end, like a great ocean from which all countries dark canals according to their needs and purposes. So this conceptualization is similar to how Seneca or Einstein thought about God. They seem to perceive a certain underlying harmony in the universe, which they considered stunning and sacred. But they stopped shortly from claiming that there was, a personal God behind this harmony. So this conceptualization could potentially serve as a common ground for all religions, and that is why it is interesting. And it also added universality to Babaji's message, allowing him to say, I have come to guide humanity to a higher path. I do not belong to any particular religion, but respect all religions. I seek the elevation of all mankind. Babaji said, all religions are incorporated in the principle of truth, simplicity, and love. He said, the creation is vast, and there are many doctrines. Adhere to one principle, that of truth, simplicity, and love. Yeah, I would like to draw the attention of the Parliament to the simple and yet elegant conceptualization. Whenever I speak to the representatives of different faiths, they always confirm that these values are present in their respective traditions. This seems to confirm that this conceptualization is universal and yet very intuitive and simple to understand. I wish the Parliament adopted it as its standard slogan. These teachings also show Babaji's awareness that truth is threatened in our age, and thus there is a need to fight for truth. We all, I think, can attest to this. Babaji said, "We are all equal despite the country we come from, and national differences should be ignored. We are all a unity. We must shed all jealousy and envy because they are harmful. We are all one with each other and with God." He said, "Remove hatred and jealousy from your heart." The same thing has been repeatedly written in the Bible and spoken through Christ. Where there is jealousy and hatred, there is no religion. Yeah, I think when we have a quick look around, especially on how our most influential institutions are operating, we can see that there is still a lot of jealousy and hatred everywhere. This stresses the importance of Babaji's universal message. Babaji also taught about the oneness of the soul. He said, "To lead a true life, one must have firm determination and be aware that there is one soul present in all people." He said, "In the eyes of God, no one is big or small. In every heart, the consciousness there is His reflection." This is not a new thing. If you look at the documents of the first parliament in 1893, very similar words were expressed by Vivekananda. I don't have time to quote them right now, but you will find them at the bottom of this slide. And these words seem to attest to the universal wisdom coming through centuries from the land of India. Babaji's teachings on humanism are also very congruent with what the parliament tries to accomplish. Babaji said, "The world now is in a state of turmoil. It is suffering from three kinds of pain: physical, mental, and spiritual. And there is only one way of being cured from these. We have to root out inhumanity." He said, "One can follow any religion, one can follow any practice or path, but one must be humane." In these quotes, Babaji stresses that he likes human beings and wishes us well. He says that if we are humane to each other, we'll be loved and remain happy, even in the face of destruction happening around. By being humane, he meant that we should not have any hatred towards anyone. We should try not to let down other people. This is very important. We should try to help others, and we should try to love all. Babaji went even further to state that humanity should be the only religion, that we should be tolerant and forgiving toward each other, because there is only one God who created all people in His image. He urged us to work hard for the upliftment of humanity and to protect the rights of humanity, which seems to be one of the core values of the Parliament. Babaji also Babaji also spoke a lot about the importance of human work, and his message of karma yoga, which is basically the yoga of work, should be considered central to his teachings. He said, "In every age, people reached salvation through different types of actions and sadhanas. But in this age, one can reach liberation only through hard work. We need not consider religion or caste, but only look to hard work," Babaji said. He added, "I want real practical human beings. Indeed, those who work hard and are agnostics are now more acceptable than lazy spiritual hypocrites." Babaji said, "I consider an inactive man a dead man. Only through karma yoga can you advance in your life. Your heart becomes purified and your thinking becomes good. Karma yoga is also beneficial for our health. We'll have better sleep and we have a good appetite. And when we have a good appetite and a sound sleep, we are healthy. And being healthy, we can achieve anything we want in life." A few of Babaji's comments were suggesting that it was because of human laziness and our unrighteousness that the world is facing a great destruction known as Mahakranti, involving earthquakes, floods, accidents, collisions, and wars. Some of his comments indicated the possibility of a global ecological cataclysm affecting everybody on Earth. Certainly, the 2 years of COVID-19 showed us how we are all connected and that a global catastrophe of some sort is a distinct possibility. When we see how the planet is quickly warming up, one could say that the bells of destruction are already ringing. Babaji asked us to be courageous when something like this happens, to be beyond the fear of death or the hope of life. He also seemed to signal that the destruction could be averted if there was a change of hearts in all people. Doesn't seem to be that there is much hope for this right now, but the parliament naturally may try to move in this direction. Babaji, as a means of protection during the Mahakranti, Babaji asked us to practice repetition of God's name. From many names attributed to God, Babaji favored the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, claiming it was stronger than atomic bombs, and that using it, we could perhaps even defy death. However, he also stated that we can use any name our religion teaches. I would like to stress the inclusiveness of this approach. Babaji asked us to be inspired. He wanted us to proceed on the path of truth, to keep the company of saintly people, and to render services to men. One could say that this is what we are trying to do when participating in the Parliament of World Religions. Babaji cautioned us to be alert. As I commented in one of the previous slides, the bells of destruction seem to be already ringing. We should be alert to these changes taking place around us and be aware of how our actions impact on the world. If possible, we may try to awake others, which is in a sense what I am trying to do right now. Babaji also wanted us to be dutiful and to use our common sense, which means doing our duties without waiting to be told what to do. He stated that the service to humanity is our first duty. This seems to be very congruent with what the Parliament of the World Religions tries to accomplish. Babaji wanted us to be courageous, especially to have spiritual courage. This is required not only to fight for what is right, but for some even to attend the works of the Parliament. The question is, however, are we prepared to die for the sake of righteousness? Babaji wanted us to think of the earth as a mother. This is very congruent with the official documents of the Parliament. We shouldn't think of ourselves as belonging to different countries. We should try to do good deeds that benefit the whole world. That is why Babaji coined a new slogan, Jai Vishwa, which is normally translated as meaning glory to the universe. The quotes in this slide also demonstrate his ecological awareness. He appeared to be concerned not only with the survival of human race, but with the survival of all species with whom we share this planet. His sense of oneness with the whole creation is also demonstrated in this slide. According to Babaji, he came to help us realize unity beyond division. This can happen only when we realize that we are all one. An example of how Babaji championed religious freedoms were his celebrations of Christmas, Jewish New Year, and other holidays, sacred holidays from other faith traditions. To celebrate these festivals in the land dominated by Hinduism naturally required openness and courage. If you think this is not such a big deal, try to organize Christmas in a synagogue or a Jewish New Year in a mosque. In Babaji's ashrams, nobody was pressed to convert or in any way change his form of devotion to God. Interesting is also Babaji's concept of universal Christmas. If I understand it well, Babaji believed that Christ belonged not just to a set of churches, but to the whole humankind, and that the whole humankind had a right to use Christ's teachings for spiritual upliftment. The same could be said about Babaji's own teachings. Towards the end of 1983, Sri Babaji was visited by a few officials, such as the governor of the then state of Uttar Pradesh. They were all amazed by Babaji's inclusiveness and a consistency between his words and his actions. The governor said, for instance, "Here we see a wonderful thing, which we do not see in any other place. There is no differentiation here of caste, creed, religion, rich or poor. All are treated equally here, and that is a great thing. Also, the commissioner of the Kumaon district commented that they have never seen such an egalitarian gathering anywhere else. It may be interesting for you to hear what kind of future Babaji envisioned for the humankind. He believed that after the Great Revolution an era of peace will be established. He believed that the future will be a religious kingdom, which should be pleasing to all people of religion, and that this kingdom will be based on justice and high morals. He envisioned that in this future kingdom everybody will have to work in order to survive. This is not necessarily the case nowadays. So it seems that the future belongs to courageous, determined, dutiful, hard-working individuals standing on their own feet. Babaji also called for forming of a great international organization. Is the parliament this organization? No, it is to be seen. If so, perhaps the message of truth, simplicity, and love, delivered by Haidakhan Babaji, will help the parliament to shape its path forward. In summary, Babaji taught us that all religions come from the same primordial religion and lead to the same goal, which is God. All religions are incorporated in the principle of truth, simplicity, and love. All religions must, first of all, practice humanism. Hard work is more important than religion. Repeating God's name, whatever one's religion teaches, is the best protection in the time of trouble. God is omnipresent. There is one soul present in all people, and we are all one. National or religious differences should be ignored. We all belong to one earth. Before I finish, I would like to suggest a few references for you, including these two books of mine. I have a few copies with myself, so if you are interested, you may approach me after the session is over. But these books can also be bought through Amazon or my web page. There are also resources available on Wikipedia and Wikquote, along with a bunch of videos and slideshows on YouTube and a few discussions groups on Facebook. If you have any questions about this presentation, you may try to contact me at my email address, which is rajski.piotr@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your attention.